Everybody, here, and yes, the NFL draft is finally here. All the other 30 teams that weren't in the Super Bowl have been waiting for this day for months, it feels like, especially those that weren't even in playoff contention, like my Raiders, for example. We've been waiting for this for, quite some time, and there's a lot of prospects in this draft. It's a very heavy draft, a lot of running backs, good amount of quarterbacks. Experts say it's a weak quarterback class compared to previous years, but it's a heavy running back class. And that's just what the case may be, but you have your Abdul Carters of the world, your quarterbacks, your Cam Wards, your Shedeur Sanders, your sleepers like Jackson Darts, your Ashton Genties. You have a bunch of guys, Will Howard's, a bunch of guys that can make an impact on a team immediately. But there's been millions of mock drafts out there. We can just get straight to it. We're going to go through every one, but we're going to go through the first couple at least. Tennessee Titans, just because some teams, including my Raiders, decided to win towards the end of the season. They ended up with the number one pick. Yes, they have a quarterback that they drafted, Will Levis, 2 years ago with their second round pick, who out of Kentucky, who could have been good, can still be good maybe, and now he's their meme king. They're in the market for a franchise QB, and they get their franchise QB in Cam Ward. So Cam Ward's going to go to Tennessee. They're going to have their franchise guy. He has all the tools, the arm, the accuracy, athleticism. Not super athletic, but the accuracy's there. He's your best prospect in this year's draft, and he will go number one overall. Now, number two, this is where it gets really interesting, because the Browns, they don't have their number one guy either. They don't have their franchise guy. Deshaun Watson is their franchise guy. They're looking for it. They've been looking for it for, it seems like, forever. There's that jersey that has all the quarterbacks on it. But a lot of mocks have had Abdul Carter, who is the number one DN in this draft, arguably ranked the number one overall player in the draft. Defense wins championships. So you have a solid anchors on defense, you usually win. Abdul Carter's looked at possibly generational. Is he a Micah Parsons? That's what he's compared to. Is he Nick Bosa, a Crosby, T.J. Watt? Who will he end up like? But he has the potential. So do you get him, or do you get a quarterback? Because again, in the NBA usually you go BPA, best player available. In the NFL, you usually go with your need, because it's not 5-on-5, it's 11-on-11. And kind of 22-on-22, because you don't have anybody going two ways unless you're Travis Hunter, who's in this draft too. So you usually go with your need, and they do need a quarterback, but they kind of need everything. Now imagine pairing up Abdul Carter with Myles Garrett, who they just extended. That could have a nasty defense if they did that. So if I'm them, they have Jameis Winston, or they had him. I forgot if they have him or have him still, but you can get a veteran QB and just have a really nasty defense. I don't think Shedeur is your generational guy. I don't even think Cam Ward is, but Abdul Carter can be an anchor on defense. A Micah Parsons, a Nick Bosa, a Max Crosby, which again, you never know in the draft. People become bust all the time, but I would probably go Abdul Carter instead of gambling on a Shedeur Sanders, who's ranked number 2, or a Jackson Dart, who is my favorite in this draft. I'd go Abdul Carter, but we'll see what happens with that. Next, you have your New York Giants, who have been linked to Shedeur Sanders for a long time. They even had Malik Neighbors and Shedeur Sanders playing catch in the streets of New York a couple months back during the season. This is one where I don't think they pass on a quarterback. Will they make a gamble and go with the Jackson Dart route? Maybe. Will they go, Will Campbell to help their they have 2 veteran quarterbacks in their quarterback crew now too. Will they go the receiver route? I don't think so, because they got Malik Neighbors. Will they surprise us, go with the Genty? Will they get a Travis Hunter? He's your two-way guy who no one has played at that elite level, I think, ever. Maybe Charles Woodson, but I don't think anyone's ever seen a Travis Hunter type who plays both ways. And if the Giants believe in their vets, if they don't believe in Shedeur, who a lot of teams aren't necessarily right now, I can see them going one of those routes, a Genty, Travis Hunter, a bunch of different routes they can go. But in this sense, I think you're going to have New York land Shedeur Sanders as their quarterback of the future. Can I be wrong? Of course, but I think that's what they're going to do. They wanted him for quite some time, and I think that's where he goes. Now, if he doesn't get picked here, I think he slips out of the first round, and that's unless somebody else trades back up. A lot of teams aren't high on him anymore, but I think the Giants still are. So we'll see with that. New England will probably go Will Campbell because they already have Drake May, the quarterback of the future. And they traded away the other dude that they drafted. I forgot his name, but yeah, they traded him to the Cowboys. So I believe they will get Will Campbell as their tackle to help Drake May. That's an easy pick. It's probably the best tackle in the draft. Next, the Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars are an interesting team because do they need a quarterback? Can you go your Jackson Dart or whatever the case may be, your second-tier quarterbacks? Maybe, but why would you if you have Mr. Sunshine himself, Trevor Lawrence? He was looked at as a generational quarterback, and he still can be. He has his bright spots. He still has all the tools. Hasn't shined like he did in college, but he's still a good quarterback. So I don't think they reach for a quarterback here. They're probably going to go with that receiver, Tetoriano McMillan, out of Arizona. He's looked at as the best receiver in the draft. Give Trevor Lawrence some help, a young stud receiver, and it just makes all the sense in the world to go that way if you're the Jaguars, and of course if you're still with Trevor Lawrence, which they are, still under contract, still young. This is very interesting for me because let's say the Giants decided to not go Shedeur Sanders, they go somewhere else. Maybe they went a Will Campbell or some other player. This is where people would be looking at Shedeur Sanders because he's been linked to the Raiders, and the Raiders extended Geno Smith for 2 years. So he's technically on a 3-year deal. Shedeur, I don't think, would be waiting for 3 years. I think he wants to play right now. Was very electric in Colorado. One of my favorite players to watch and to see. And if I'm thinking back, I was thinking he needs to be our quarterback. That being said, I think the Giants take him, but if he doesn't get taken, I think this is a spot he can go, but I do think my Las Vegas Raiders are extremely high, like a lot of other teams too, on Ashton Jeanty. Yes, this is a super heavy running back class, but Jeanty is just another world of beastness. That guy looks like Rhino from Spider-Man, but in human form, just a monster, ball of muscle. Look, almost like a Saquon Barkley type. That dude is humongous. He's huge, and he's athletic. He's a freak. Yeah, I think that's where they're going. And even Spytek, our new GM, he literally said it to the media. Oh, my oldest son said, if you don't pick Jeanty, I'm going to go to another family. He even told Spytek's son, told Mark Davis, hey, if you don't pick him, my dad's doing a horrible job. So I think we pick Jeanty, we pair him up with Geno Smith, and then we continue on with the draft. And you have your running back, you have your quarterback, you have your receiver, who had a 0% drop rate last year, which, was pretty solid, of course. You can't stay like that forever, but still, you build that offense that way. Now this is where I think you're going to see a Travis Hunter if he's not picked. In the other New York, this is now the New York Jets, their 7th pick. The Giants, if they don't pick Shedeur, they think they're going to go Travis Hunter or Will Campbell. If Shedeur is picked at 3, which I think he will be, then Travis Hunter is going right here to the Jets in New York. And again, the Jets are in an interesting spot because they have a talented team. Your Sauce Gardners of the world, your Garrett's, real good receiver. You had Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams last year, but not anymore. So you still have a good receiver in Garrett. You still have Sauce Gardner on the team on the defense. You sign, your quarterback, your veteran quarterback, which, okay, so I guess you could say you have a quarterback there, but you can still grab a future quarterback right here if that doesn't work out. But I think they're going to go Travis Hunter. He can play both receiver and DB. Probably just pick one for the NFL, but we'll see. He's a Swiss Army knife. He's one of your most talented players in this draft. And I don't think he slips past number 7 right here in New York. Now the rest after that is when it can get wanky. You're going to see trades. You're going to see all the other mock drafts go out the door. I think those are some of your top, for the most part, top 7 popular picks. But yeah, it just keeps going. Your Mason Grahams, Trayvon Henderson's, which Trayvon Henderson, he's another one who, if the Raiders decided to wait and get somebody else at that spot, I mean, he's another just solid running back. And I like Genty, but Henderson is super solid too. And this class is super running back heavy. So we'll see. There's probably going to be trades and people getting desperate and doing some crazy moves. But that'll be, topic for another day. Just going to talk about the first couple picks and some of the team needs and all that good stuff. So looking forward to it. Cannot wait for the draft. It's always super fun. I like when the crowd shits on Goodell. It's always a good time. So can't wait. This is the Hair.